minutes for our introductions. Dhruv, let's start with your introduction. I'm going on mute.
Yeah. So, hi everyone. My name is Dhruv Rana, and I currently work for TCS. Uh, I have been working with AEM front end, and I am experienced with AEM. Moreover, I have knowledge related to Python programming language as well as core Java, and I have even worked with PHP during my for my college projects, as well as I know JavaScript. This is the introduction for me. Subramanyam, you
Let's
can proceed forward.
let's go with Alok. Alok, could you please introduce your name, your designation, and your experience with the Git or Bitbucket?
Sure. Hi, Subramanyam and everyone. My name is Alok. I'm a technology consultant. So, and when I say technology consultant, what I mean is I help understand various technology and try to understand the value of it. So, one of the areas that I focus on is the development platforms. And so I'm not a developer. I used to be in the past, but currently I'm not a developer. And my purpose of joining today's session is to understand, get a view on the developers side to, how they're using GitHub and other platforms. So that's my motivation. Thank you.
Thank you, Alok. Aryan, would you please
Hello
introduce?
everyone. I am Aryan. I'm a second year student. I've joined this session to know more about GitHub so that I can use it in open source projects, and also I want to get to know about like Bitbucket.
Aryan and Vasavi.
Hi all, yeah, I'm Vasavi. So I'm a tester. So I have an experience on manual testing. So that's all about my through. Thank you.
Vasavi and Gyan Shekhar.
Hello everyone, myself Rana and I am currently working as a test analyst in Infosys, and I have both manual and automation testing experience, and I have worked on GitHub previously, but I joined this session to get more knowledge about Bitbucket and GitHub. Yeah.
Gyan Shekhar. Rupam Chaudhary, you're one of our favorite and active members of Visakhapatnam chapter. Would you please introduce to the wider audience?
Thank you very much, Subramanyam. So, hello everyone. My name is Rupam Chaudhary, and currently I'm working with IBM as a business analyst. And I've joined this session. Usually, I join most of the sessions from Atlassian, whichever I get a chance actually. And I've joined this session so that I can come to know basics and come to know about the demo of Git and Bitbucket actually. Thank you, everyone.
Sarika.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. So I'm working as an associate consultant with TCS, and I'm in the same project like Subramanyam and Dhruv. So currently, we are all working in AEM technology, and for source code management, we are using Bitbucket and Git. So uh, to enhance my knowledge more on Git and Bitbucket, so I have joined this session.
Sarika. Shweta, would you please introduce your name, your designation, and your
Yes.
expertise and knowledge on these tools?
Yes, Subramanyam. Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Shweta Preeti, and I am working in Infosys for like last 1 year. I have joined Infosys for this 1 year, and with AZ, I'm working for 6-7 months, and I am a software tester. I have knowledge of automation testing as well, but currently I am working as a manual tester with AZ, and yeah, that's all. And I would like to hear this session to increase my knowledge. Thank you.
Lastly, we have Saira. Would you please introduce?
Hi Subramanyam, thank you for this opportunity. And hi everyone, this is Venkat. I'm having overall 14 years of experience, and currently I'm working for Cognizant as a Scrum Master. My role is a senior consultant. From the my day-to-day job is completely on this Jira. We have our product called Odyssey. So I'm much interested to know about Bitbucket and Git. Though it is developers will do that, but I want to know how it exactly works. In earlier project of mine, I didn't have this Bitbucket, but yeah, here in Cognizant, sorry, I mean the client where I'm working for them, they're using this Bitbucket. I want to learn more about it.
Fantastic. It seems we have wide audience with the different expertise and expectations. So I believe Dhruv will be able to cover up as part of the expectations of the knowledge sharing. Team, before I hand over, it's a 310. Before I hand over to Dhruv, if you have any queries, on the right, on top right side, you have the chat window where you have the general as well as the Q&A. You can use any of those options to post your queries. So once Dhruv is completed with his session, he will able to take up the queries. So please post the questions and you can ask the question directly if and I have shared a Google form link in that window. So kindly fill in. That is for your email address, your contact number. Contact number is optional, but email address is mandatory. This is to the recording of the session as well as the PPT that Dhruv has shared with me. Having said this, I'm passing on the mic to Dhruv to take over the session. Dhruv, over to you.
Yeah. Okay. So everyone, let's begin the session. I am sharing my screen. I will be first walking you through the PPT, and then we will have an hands-on session. Yeah, I assume my screen is visible.
Visible, Dhruv. Perfect.
So let's begin with the history of Git. So
Mhm.
actually, first let me read this content. So the Linux kernel is an open source software project of fairly large scope. Right? During the early years of Linux kernel maintenance, changes to the software were passed around as patches and archived files. In 2002, the Linux kernel project began using a proprietary DVCs called BitKeeper. Okay. In 2005, the relationship between the community that developed the Linux kernel and the commercial company developed BitKeeper broke down, and the tools tools free of charge status was revoked. This prompted the Linux development community to develop their own tool based on some of the lessons they learned while using the BitKeeper, which resulted in the creation of an open source tool named Git. So actually, the Linux community was working with this company named BitKeeper. Then later on, the relationship broke down, and because of that, the Linux community created their own software, which was Git. As Linux has an main agenda to make everything open source, they created Git. So the definition of Git is as follows. So Git is an free and open source distributed version control system. So what we understand by a version control system is that suppose if we are creating a file, let's say a text document, okay. If I am making a resume, I would make many changes while I am working on the resume. So while making changes, we also think that a previous version of that resume would be good and which can be used in a certain situation. But this will create multiple copies of that resume and it will cause storage issues. So to overcome that, there was a Git can be used, which is a version control system. So every time when we make some changes, we can we can add the changes and we can add a commit with the change. So based on the commit, we can identify what type of changes were made to the particular file or a particular source code. So this would be very beneficial to the user. So let me tell you the uses of Git. Okay, so Git provides features such as it provides good speed. Okay, it has a simple design, so anyone who is not a developer, even they can start using it. And it has a strong support. It has a great community, so we can get any solution when we are stuck using it. And it is fully distributed. And using it, we can handle large projects such as Linux kernel efficiently. We can even take an example of many projects that enterprises uses. Okay, so all these projects are large projects and they are handled using it because it helps multiple developers to work on that project. Okay, so how we can start using the Git? Okay, so to start using Git, first we have to download the Git from its official site. So I have mentioned the link in the PPT. Okay, so based on the system, we can download the respective file and then we can install it. And then further on, we have to initialize the particular folder in which we want to make it as a Git repository. So firstly, when we create a Git repository, it will be on our local system, and then we can connect to any of the online. What we say, we can connect it to Bitbucket or GitHub, which is an online repository management, and we can leverage the use of Git, and we can make changes. We can add commits based on the requirement. Okay. These are few important Git commands that uh, that are very much beneficial and which can be used by the end user. So let me brief on all the commands that are mentioned here. So firstly, git init. So if I tell you about git init will initialize the Git repo. Okay. Then the other command is git status. Git status will display the changes that are made into the repository. Suppose if there is a repository, we have initialized it, then we make some changes. We add 2 to 3 new files. Okay, and if we type the git status command, it will display the changes with the file name which is modified or which is created. Okay, the third command is git clone. So git clone command is used to clone an repository which is already available on any of the repository management service such as GitHub or Bitbucket. So using the URL, we can clone the repository on our local system, and then we can modify the changes to the system and we can push the changes to respective branch. Respective repository. The next command is git add. So in the if we go through the process of committing the change, then firstly we have to make the change. We have to check the status whether the file is changed or modified. Suppose if the file is changed or modified, then we have to stage. Okay, so to stage a file, we use the command as git add. So we have to type the command git add, and then we have to write the file name with the full location. Uh, then it will be staged, and then later on we can commit the change using the git commit. Okay. And git push and pull are one of the major and important commands. Okay, so git push command is used to push some local changes to a remote repository. Suppose if we are having a repository on Bitbucket, and firstly we clone the repository, we have modified the source code as per our requirement or as per the feature which was needed to be developed. Then after committing the change, we have to push the change to the remote repository which is available on Bitbucket so that it can be moved to live site or it can be developed. And git pull is one another command. So let's say there are multiple people working on a single repository, or we can say a single branch. Okay, so uh, suppose if someone has made some changes and it is available in the main branch, however when you were working on a particular change, that changes were not available. So before pushing the change, you have to pull the change so that everything is in flow and everything is synchronized. Okay. This is the use of the git pull command. Then the other command is git fetch. So git fetch command is used to fetch all the remote branches to our local system. So suppose there is a repository, and when you will join to a new project, you will be given some access to the repository to develop your changes, or you can make some changes to the code. So when you will join a new project, you have not previously worked on that project, so uh, you won't be having any branches on your local system. So at that time, this git fetch command is used to fetch all the remote branches to your local system. And git checkout is another command. Git checkout will change the branch. So suppose there are multiple branches. Let's say there is a develop branch, which is the main branch. Then there is a feature branch related to JavaScript, and there is a feature branch related to CSS. Okay, so if you want to make any changes to a JavaScript file, then you would definitely switch to the JS branch, and then you will make the change. So to switch the branches, we have this command which is git checkout. You can use the git checkout command to change the branches. And git branch is the command which is used to display the number of branches available uh, on your local system. These are the use of important git commands. When we will go through hands-on session, you will get a more clear understanding of all these commands. Now let's talk about git branch. So git branch and git merge is one of the most important concept in git, and it will be very much beneficial when you will be working on enterprise projects or large projects which are having multiple users. So git branch is used to take the code from the main branch or any other branch, and then the code can be modified on a feature branch which was created. Git branch helps multiple users to simultaneously work on the same code to develop different features and finally merge the code to main branch after the feature is completely developed. So as I told you for the example, in JavaScript and CSS file. So suppose a team is working on a feature or they are developing a web application. So few of the users, they will be working on the CSS part, few of the users will be working on the JavaScript part. Okay, so it is better that we create different branches so that the users can work on that feature specifically instead of spoiling the code or uh, mixing of the code. So this branch is very much beneficial, and it will help the code to be distributed. Now let's move to git merge. So merging in git is a way of putting a fork history back together again. The git merge command lets you take the independent lines of development created by git branch, integrate them into a single branch. So as I told you in the previous example, that firstly, if someone is working on a JavaScript file and CSS file, and then we have to make it available to the main branch so that it can be moved to a live site or it can be displayed on a live site. So git merge is the command that is used to merge all the branches, and then all the code will be available in a single develop branch, which is the live branch. And another concept in git is git merge conflict. So there are merge conflicts that occurs when we try to merge different branches, and this mostly happens when a person is trying to edit the same piece of file, or we can say the same line number in two different branches. So at that particular point, the git compiler get confused, and at that time it will require the user intervention to modify the change. So during a git merge conflict, we have four scenarios: whether we can merge the current change, or we can merge the incoming change, or we can merge the both change. Now let's move to Bitbucket. Okay, so Bitbucket is a Git repository management solution designed for professional teams. Okay, it gives you a central place to manage Git repository, collaborate on your source code, and guide you through the development flow. So as I told you, Git is a local tool. So Git can be used to version control, but to store it on a server, we will require a repository management solution or a system for example, Bitbucket and GitHub. Okay, so there are few features of Bitbucket because of which many enterprise and companies prefer Bitbucket. Okay, so firstly, we have access control to restrict access to your source code. So as I am working in a project which is using Bitbucket, um, there is a full access control to the repository. So people will be given read access and write access based on their designation and based on their part in the team. Okay, so the source code is well managed and nobody can alter the code because there is a access control feature in Bitbucket. Then the other feature is pull request. So pull request is created when we want to move our code from a particular branch. Let's say we are working on a feature and we want to move the code to the live branch so that it can be displayed in the server. So to move that code, we create a pull request and a reviewer who is a consultant or who is experienced enough to check our code will give us a sign off on the code, and then the pull request is approved and it is merged to the main branch. So the pull request feature also has the comment feature. So we can comment on the pull request as per requirement, and then based on the comments, we can modify the changes. The other feature is Jira integration. So as we all know that Atlassian provides mainly three products, that is Jira, Confluence, and Bitbucket. So these are all interrelated and integrated together. So a story number in a Jira can be integrated to a particular branch or a feature branch in Bitbucket. So anyone, any consultant or any stakeholder, okay, who is viewing the story can easily navigate to Bitbucket to view the code as well, or else vice versa. Any reviewer who is reviewing this code, he can go to the story based on the story number, and he can verify the issue which is mentioned in the Jira story. So this is a very much beneficial feature of Bitbucket. Okay. Additional features, if we talk about Bitbucket, then Bitbucket Cloud is hosted on Atlassian servers and accessed via URL. Bitbucket Cloud has an exclusive built-in continuous integration tool, pipelines. So Bitbucket has pipelines. Bitbucket Cloud has pipelines that can be integrated. So it will provide you the build, the test, and deploy from and within Bitbucket. So there is no third-party feature required. Bitbucket has the pipelines, so it will directly deploy the code via the pipelines to the main server or to the main branch from which the server is connected. Okay, and if we talk about Bitbucket server in hosted on-premise environment, then Bitbucket server does not come with built-in testing and deployment tool, but it has strong integration with Bamboo. Okay, Bamboo is another Bitbucket tool which helps in continuous integration and continuous deployment of the code. So currently, if I talk about my project specifically, then Atlassian Bamboo is being used, which will continuously integrate and continuously deploy the code. So once we move the code to the main branch, it is deployed within 30 minutes, and we are able to see the changes on the server. So these are the additional features of Bitbucket, and these are few references which I have mentioned in the PPT. You can refer to these references for further details on some specific topic. Okay, so now let's move to the hands-on session. Okay, so firstly I will walk you through the Git, and then we will go through Bitbucket. Okay. So currently I am sharing my entire screen. So currently I have this empty document folder. Okay, so here there is no files. Okay, let me create a text file here. So I have created a text file. It is having this text. This is test. Okay. Now let me initialize the Git repo. So I will click here. So once you will install Git Bash, okay, you will see these two options, Git GUI and Git Bash here. So as I'm going to show you different commands in Git Bash, I will click on Git Bash here. So it will open to this particular location. Okay, now suppose if I type Git status right now, okay, it will show that it is not a Git repository. Okay, so we have to initialize the Git repo. So we can type the command git init, okay, and the Git repo is initialized. Now if we type Git status, okay, we type Git status, okay, it will display it is on the master branch and there is a new file detected. Okay, so now if, as I told, we can use the git add command to stage the file. So let me type git add, and there is one another shortcut available here. So if we type full stop after git add, then it will add all the files. Okay, or else we have to type specifically, and then we can again view the git status. So here you can see the green symbol. So it means that the file is staged currently. Now the next step is we can type git commit. So git commit and then minus m. Minus m is the flag to write type the message. Then in inverted commas we have to write type the message. So you can type the commit message based on the feature or the thing you are working on. Currently I am typing it. I will give some random commit. So the commit is means we have committed the change. Okay. And to view a commit, you can just type git log minus minus one line. Here the commit is visible and all the commits will have a commit has. Okay, so with this commit has we can reference to a particular commit. Okay, now let's switch a branch. Okay, so currently the commit we made is on the master branch. Okay, so to create a branch we can type git branch and then the branch name. So let's say we are switching to a featured branch, new file. Okay, so new branch is created. Okay, so when we type git branch, locally you will see two branch, one and two, featured slash new file and master branch. Now to switch to a particular branch, so currently you can see that currently it is on the master branch itself. So to switch to a branch, we have to type the command git checkout and then the branch name. So after we check out, we will be seeing this as the new branch. Okay, so here we can create a new file again. So now again the same steps we have to follow here to make a commit. So first we have to check whether there is a change. So it has detected that there is a new file. So we can type the git add, and suppose if I type the dot, then to it will add the file. Now we can type the commit message. Okay, so we haven't merged the change yet. So once we have committed the change, okay, if we switch the branch again, okay, as the branch is different, the file disappeared. Okay, so currently, as on the master branch, there is only a single file, so we are only able to see the test file. Okay, and as we created a branch from this feature branch from master, so in if we switch to feature branch, then we will see both the files. And now we shall merge the file. Okay, so it will also clear the concept of branch and branching and merging. So as master is our main branch, so firstly we have to switch to the branch to which we have to merge the change. So I will check out to master. It will display master. Okay, so then I can type the command git merge and then the branch that we want to merge into the master branch. So that is feature plus new file. Okay, so now in master branch we'll be seeing two files. And now if we type git status, there is nothing to commit. So you will see a message that on branch master nothing to commit, working trace clean. Okay, so this is the local use of git. Now let's integrate git and bitbucket. So firstly let me go here. Okay, so this is the bitbucket interface. Here I can create a repository. You can type the name of the repository. Okay, default branch name, I am naming it as master. So we can clone the branch or we can add a remote. So currently, as we are currently having we are already having this local branch, sorry, this local git repo ready. So what we can do here is we can add a remote. So it will connect to the git repo here. Okay. So to add a remote, you have to copy this URL. And then we have to type this command git remote add, and then this will be the remote name. So mostly as per industrial standard, everyone is using origin. You can name it anything, and then we have to type this URL. Okay, so the remote is added. To re-verify it, you can just type git remote and see origin is displayed. Okay, so now if I want to move these changes from my local system, that is these two files are created on my local, I want to move it to Bitbucket. So currently Bitbucket and our local system are connected. So we can just type the command git push and then git push origin, which is the remote name. Okay, and the branch that we want to move in. So currently there is the master branch, So we can type this command. Yes. So currently, due to two-factor authentication enabled in Bitbucket and Git, we have to create one key, and then once this password which is visible, we have to use this as the password credential to move the change. That also I will explain during the Bitbucket. So now you can see that the changes are moved. Suppose if I refresh that, you can see that the changes that were on our local are available on the remote branch. Here, here also it is displaying the master branch. So this is how we integrate Bitbucket and Git, which is on our local system. So anyone has any doubt till here? Hi team. Anyone has any doubt till here?
Hi, Dhruv. This is Alok.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have doubt on the topic. I mean, the screen that you were sharing, the commands, but a
Okay.
general, maybe a comment or request that during some part of the flow of your session, if you could share your experience also about, when before using GitHub, what platform you
Yeah.
were using and what triggered, I have put that question in the chat as well, but also it will be helpful to get your perspective that if you were using some other platform, what triggered the change in your case to switch to this, and how you were measuring, like the progress, or let's say whatever problem you were trying to solve, was it solved and to what scale? So if you were using any metric to track that, it would be interesting for me to understand that, if it's okay. You can share that
Okay.
maybe
Yeah.
towards the end if it is not directly in the flow of your topics that you want to cover, but it will help me.
Yeah. So until now, Alok, I didn't face any issues. Mainly, the issues that anyone would face during working with GitHub, Bitbucket, or Git is a merge conflicts. So when I face the issue with the merge conflict, and VS Code is a tool which is having a good source control. So if you will be using VS Code, then it will be very much easier for you to make the changes and commit the changes, and even you can resolve merge conflicts at an ease. Uh, and at the end of the session, I will also display the VS Code source control. So how it is very much beneficial, and it can be used over means instead of Git bash in some scenario. Okay. And let me continue the Bitbucket part for now. So it's a Bitbucket has this sort of interface. So these are the different repository which I created. Okay. Let me take you to the web app repository. Okay. So here we have different tabs which can be navigated. So the source tab, okay, it will display the source files, okay, the files and the content of the file as well as the branch. Okay, so here there are 3 branches. So you can navigate to the branches and you can see what are the content in the branch. Okay, and there is this clone. So you can just copy paste this command into your git as anywhere. So the command is fully ready, git clone, and then it is a repository URL. So you can just copy, and if you will paste it in the git bash into a folder, then it will clone the whole repo in that particular folder. Now let's move to the commits. Okay, so as I told you, commits will Hi all, am I audible? Hi Asis, to address your question. Okay, you were asking. So in GitHub it is different. We were using a public key, right? But here we can use this app passwords. Okay, we have to go to app passwords and we have to create a app password for ourselves. Okay, so the password will be displayed only once. So you have to copy it and store it somewhere. The screen is prompted uh, to verify and to authenticate the user. At that time, you can use the password which is available during the which is available in the app password tab. So it won't be displayed again. So you have to store it somewhere that can be used to authenticate yourself when you commit any change. And now let me show you the use of let me show you the use of GitHub, sorry, VS Code source control. Okay, so I have already imported this web app. Okay, which is yeah, I have already imported this app. Okay, so this is the web app. It is imported in the VS Code. So here also you can make any of the changes. Okay, currently see you can see the branch which is feature/js. Okay, so I have created a branch and it is on the JS. It is a JS branch, so I have made some JS changes. So you can click on this third icon, which is the source control. Okay, you can check the changes here. Okay, so if you will click on this file, it will display the changes. So this green line will display this new line was added. So I have not committed the changes. Okay, so this will display a change. When you will click on this plus icon, okay, it will work as a git add command and the changes will be staged. Okay, now once the changes are staged, this message bar is a commit message. So you can type the commit message that you were typing using this git commit minus m, and then the commit message you were typing here. You can type the message here. Okay, so once you will type this commit message and the change is staged. Okay, so when you will click on this commit icon, this is right tick mark. Okay, the change will be committed. So now if I want to move this change to my remote repo, which is available here, okay, then I can click on this same change, or you can click here. So now there is nothing displaying here. So the change is committed. To verify, I will refresh this. Okay. See, you can see that the JS file imported change. It is made into the features/JS branch. Okay. So now, if you want to merge all the changes, okay, so we can switch to the master branch. So that is also available here. You can click on this branch icon. You can switch to the branch. Okay. So see, master branch is not having any CSS, any JS till now. Okay. So if I would go here, this is the page. Currently it is displaying nothing. It is displaying only which is available in the index file. Okay, now if I click on this terminal icon, first I will merge the JS part. Okay, git merge feature. Okay, so you can see that these changes are available now. Okay, after merging, you can see the JS file is also populated. And now if I would go here and I would refresh the page, this will work based on the JS and it will display the result. And now I can even merge the CSS in. So git merge. Okay, so CSS changes are also available now. Now if I refresh, the background color is changed. So this is the way you can even use VS Code. Okay, instead of using Git Bash, uh, it is more simple and anyone can understand VS Code much better. Okay, and now I am syncing the change to the master branch after merging the changes. So here also it is from. Okay, see the change is synchronized. And now if I refresh this commit page, so you can see the changes here. And in the source you will see all the files. Okay, so I think that's all from my end. Now we can